Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV and the Hildibrandt questline, where last time we more or less solved the Colosseum Conundrum case, and the Phantom Thief left what appears to be his the message for his last attempted theft. So Ellie, what's next? What's up next? Shades of Sil'dih. I was wondering when you show up this way. I hope you haven't made any plans for today, because we've got a situation on our hands. Remember our good friend the Phantom Thief? Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from burglary to cold-blooded murder. The rumors are to be believed. He claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of Ul'dah society. Mr. Manyfaces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubt as to the identity of a murderer. The message is always the same. The weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you hear me complaining. No, the only thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mythful has been selling like Ponce cakes. The only rub is that it's left me no time to look into the thief's last message. I don't know what it is, shall we this way? The hidden treasure of Ul'dah, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you know who. 2 Sunset Tapestries. You know who? I fear I don't know who. Women. Information broken. Well now, if I did my favorite venture and my favorite Mythful reporter along over. Tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure of your company today? I see. As much as I'd like to help, 2 lovely ladies, I'm afraid you'll find all women at a loss. Ul'dah has won its fair share of treasures, hidden and otherwise. I reckon a Phantom Thief could be after just about any of them. I can't tell you this much though. Whatever thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultan's one in the right dither. What has it? They formed a regiment, our best and brightest, to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat. The Sultan's one aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we've got. Come on this way. I'd say it's time we paid a visit to the heart of a swan. Aye, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the warring type, but you may want to think twice before getting yourself involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck of yours at risk trying to play hero. Your concern is touching, but I can assure you that I'm ready for whatever danger lies ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek out the truth and convey it to the people. Come this way, time is of the essence. Confidence, I like that in a woman. Anyway, it's not my place to stop you. So, just promise me you'll be careful. My gut tells me that troubles are brewing. My gut's right more often than wrong. Good. Heart of a Swan should be at the Alchemist's Guild? Have I seen this man before? Humphrey. The braggart, right? Odd. Only authorized personnel allowed in. Foul bugger me with a broadsword. It's the Gentleman of Light's adventuring companion and that canny but cute report from a Mythful. Well, well, if it's the self-styled warrior of light. Tell me what tall tales did you spin to the Sultan's sworn recruiter to land yourself in this position? Only the truth is honest truth, miss. Seeing that Gentleman of Light standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me. To the depths of my soul, like, I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve a realm just like my hero, Master Hildibrandt. The Sultan's Sworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Wait, don't tell me. You've come to assist Master Hildibrandt in his investigation, haven't you? Cor, why didn't you say so sooner? It's the least I could do to help the two ladies who united me with my role model. You really wanted to speak with Felice. She's one of her Sworn's best and something of a history buff, it seemed. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Belladia, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you're looking for, it would be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you not to touch anything, eh? A pleasure to meet you, Felice. My name is Ellie from the Ul'dah. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case and would appreciate any information that may shed light on recent events. The pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie. If I'm not mistaken, that will make your companion friend here one Desiree Klingor, yes? That would be true. You know Desiree. As any regular reader of the Mythal I would. I must confess of being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this, I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the Inspector too will also welcome a helping hand. The Sultan's Sworn, the elite of Ul'dah's elite. Can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with thus far. Inspector Boyardin, always one step ahead of us. Miss Ellie, Desiree, a moment if you would. Right there, very good. Now face me and don't move an ilm. Inspector, what is that in your... Demasking dust. A formula of my own devising that will allow us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counter-agent that would dissolve the disguise while leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appear to be. Brilliant, Inspector. The Phantom Thief's pulling the wool over our eyes for the last time. I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resource of the Sultan's Sworn at our disposal, we were only able to produce a limited supply. I see. Well, I suppose that's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? A hidden treasure of Ul'dah, the last of the 4 lost relics of Belladia? I fear not. I've pored over the histories time and again, but the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars consider it little more than a fairy tale. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in righteous glare. The legend goes on to describe 4 sacred artifacts, one each possessed by these 4 Belladian heroes, but makes no mention of their appearance or nature. 3 times have we tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times has he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play to the fiend's strengths. All artifacts of Belladian origins have been sealed away within the royal vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of demasking dust and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious personages. The blackguard be in chains before I can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasures within. You have our word, my lady. But there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of a recent rush of murders perpetrated by our quarry? The Sultan's Sworn have launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is that we have been far too occupied with the defense of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer. A lady asks, and a gentleman answers. Cast all worry from your heart, my lady. Hildibrandt, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the Damascus, that's what is the talk of a palace. But you not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I'm exactly where I claim to be. A shame that... Inspector Hildibrandt, we were not expecting you, but your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders. The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far. The head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar. Other than that they are influential figures in their respective circles, we can identify no common threats connecting the 3. Oh, this will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. What the method of killing? Conk on the head with a cudgel, gutted with a greatsword, strangled with a supplica mayhap? I'm afraid we have identified no pattern. In any event, the murderer plots the deaths of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly. Understood, my lady. Clues may be scarce, but why not? My well-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar turned butcher delivered to justice. Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrandt. Friends, please take this masking dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use. On behalf of the Sultan Sworn, your assistance with a murder investigation is greatly appreciated. Leave the defense of our royal vaults to us. The gentleman of light in the flesh, health, he's every bit as muscular and majestic as I remember. He may have 1,000 faces, but with Inspector Briardian's demasking dust, the masquerade will soon be over. Come to accompany me on yet another case, friend. I like your gusto, but if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all of his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly Desiree, my ever-loyal associate. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that the scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sasamo. Even the most circumspect criminals cannot help but leave behind clues. Clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off. Pray alert me should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Miss Phyllis's demasking dust to good use. Western fun on. Flowers. How intriguing. Flowers. Yes, it is all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist who, in his hurry to escape, carelessly misled his wares. Just what do you think you're doing, huh? I'm one who put those flowers there, to honor the memory of me poor boy. You dare defile his memory, huh? 1,000 pardons, my lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrandt, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire. I said to you, on my own dear mother's name, that your son's killer will be brought to justice. As I was saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased, which can only mean... Leave this place. Run away while you still can. Run far, far away. Run, he'll turn you into a zombie. Look at my poor boy. A living person turned into a zombie. Nonsense. Not nonsense, my boy. History. Or have you not heard of the horrors of Sil'dih? Aye, Ul'dah's sibling nation against which we waged war centuries ago? Much blood was shed by both sides, aye, but I speak of greater horrors when death, an unholy drought brewed by a Sil'dih alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead. That his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers, but traitors spawn. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotting flesh and ran him through, but you won't hear that from a Sultan's one. Father alone knows why. They whisked the body away before I could so much as pay me respects. The traitors spawn. I heard the stories but never thought them true. To be able to procure such a frightening thing? Just who are we dealing with here? It's Sil'dih, I'm sure of it. Only Sil'dih would know the recipe. But the last remnant of Sil'dih died 4 centuries ago, you say? Oh, they did. They did. He calls himself a phantom thief, does he? But did it ever occur to you that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom, eh? Heard the tales from your own great-great-grandmother, I did. But the 4 relics of Belladi and the powers they hold. The power to exact justice. A spectre of Sil'dih has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe, woe unto us all. Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy, if only you'd become a traitor like your father, if only you'd kept your nose out of those history books, never so much breathed the accursed name of Sil'dih. But you did, and now we're doomed, doomed, doomed! Bleeding horse sounds here somewhere. I can feel it in me follicles. The most potent hair tonic we've ever seen, aye. But it was for all of a fortnight before my flowing locks fell out all over again. And just as I was chatting up a lovely young lass at the quicksand, just to twist the knife an extra elm. Mountebank charlatan! I find that so-called inspector in a sorry band and pull every last strand of hair from their bleeding scalps. Shades from Sil'dih. Living men turned into zombies. The old crone's lost not just her son but her wits as well. Sibling strife. It's all becoming clear to me now that the old woman's testimony has confirmed that which I had suspected from the start. Like a zombie picking away at its rotting flesh, Hildibrandt, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has peeled away the foul scab of uncertainty to reveal the truth within. Open your ears and feast your minds on the fruit of my flawless seduction. Our phantom thief is a phantom indeed, a wayward spirit caught between the realm of the living and dead, for nigh on centuries since meeting a tragic end on the battlefield. As such, our course of action is clear. We must placate this tortured soul that might abandon its vengeful vendetta and travel to the next life in peace. But what is the true nature of a spectre's grievances? Without this knowledge, we cannot hope to assuage its rancor. Let us begin our search of the Thaumaturge's guild. And doubtless the tomes will contain a wealth of knowledge on the ill blood between the sibling nations. Notwithstanding the abject stupidity of everything else that came out of your mouth, some knowledge of Sil'dih might serve as well. Go research as you will, and do take as much time as you need. You can count on me, Inspector Briardian. Whatever knowledge is to be gleaned at the guild, it shall not escape my inspector's eye. I'd be much obliged if you could keep them out of my way, Desiree. I have some real investigating to do, and I prefer to be free of distractions. Neneko. Gods be good, you're the adventurer safe and back in the ruins. Researching the ancient feud between Ul'dah and Sil'dih, are you? Why, I'm pleased to say I have more than a passing familiarity with ancient history. Ah, wait, she is from the Sunken Temple of Khan Heart, right? To understand the history of the sibling nations, one must go back further still to the birth of their mother nation, Belladia. The 5th astral era was an age of untold wonder. The arcane arts burgeoned and the great civilizations that commanded such power flourished. This age of enlightenment would not last, however. Power breeds avarice, and avarice breeds resentment. It culminated in the War of the Magi, which brought the great floods of the 6th Umbral Calamity, which in turn swallowed once proud nations and left a battered wasteland in its wake. Mages were reviled and persecuted for having caused this catastrophe, with many forced to leave their homeland or face death. It was a small band of those survivors that found their way to Thanalan. They would found the nation of Belladia some 8 centuries ago. Agone. I imagine a government of mages, by mages, and for mages. What wonders might we have wrought had Belladian civilization survived to this very day? Alas, this was not to be. They say there's a thief with many faces collecting the 4 relics of ancient Belladia. Do you suppose he'd be kind enough to show them to me when he's done? Even a cursory glance at them would do wonders for my research. Greetings, traveler. You would learn of the war between Ul'dah and the fallen Sultanate Sil'dih. It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. The 2 city-states coexisted for several generations until the bad blood between them boiled over, culminating in outright war. As you might deduce from the present state of affairs, Ul'dah emerged victorious, leaving the once proud sibling nation in smoldering ruins. As the histories tell it, the battles fought between the sister nations were the stuff of nightmares. In a desperate attempt to overcome Ul'dah's superior numbers, Sil'dih, an alchemist, devised a most horrific stratagem. Employing a frightful formula known as the Traitor's Spurn, they brought their fallen warriors back as undead soldiers. Some theories have it that they even employed the potion on those of the living who were too weak or wounded to fight. Sends shivers up the spine just thinking about it, no? It is truly a crowning glory of our fair nation that our forebears were able to emerge victorious against these horrors. You don't say. It's not every day someone comes to our halls in search of Sil'dih. As a fellow student of history, though, I am more than welcome with conversation. Belladian civilization flourished in relative peace until twin sons were born to the royal family. The 2 were fierce rivals, and they came of age and their father passed. Each one claimed that he was the rightful heir to the throne. With neither son willing to relinquish his claim, they agreed to split their kingdom in 2, forming the twin nations of Ul'dah and Sil'dih. But not unlike the 2 proud princes, the sibling nations developed a penchant for rivalry. Kokobuki. That's the way. Don't surprise me like that. What's this? You're here not for your studies, but to learn of a bad blood between Ul'dah and Sil'dih. 2 scales, one of gold and one of silver. The gold of Ul'dah weighing prosperity and power, the silver of Sil'dih weighing knowledge and power. But the power sought by the 2 nations differed greatly. Yes, greatly indeed. The power wrought by Ul'dah prosperity was that of justice and good. The power wrought by Sil'dih knowledge was horrific beyond belief. The power to lift the living soul out of a man and render him a mindless killing machine. On this matter the histories are clear. But riddle me this, my friend. Who writes the histories? What does this say of a word writ within? Yes, truth can be elusive and fickle as the shifting sands. As one example, did you know that in the war against Sil'dih, Ul'dah and the Malja warriors fought side by side? Likely you did not, and neither did I until I encountered a faded passage in an ancient text buried deep in our archives. And yet, in the histories read by the populace, you will see no mention of this most fascinating fact. Might it be that someone, at some time, deemed this particular truth less than convenient? But I've said enough already. Read well the histories, but never forget who it is that writes them. That is my advice to you. My ever-loyal associate, tell me, what have you learned of your questioning of the scholars in these halls? Indeed, as it happens, I've learned much the same. Let's take a moment to review and allow my peerless powers of deduction to work their magic. A war of succession divided the great civilization of Belladia, giving rise to the sibling nations of Ul'dah and Sil'dih. The two nations that coexist for some generations until ill blood boils over, culminating in outright war. Daunted by Ul'dah's superior military might, Sil'dih employs their advanced alchemical knowledge to horrific ends, transforming their own citizens, alive and dead, into a fearsome undead legion. Yes, I believe I have it. The facts at hand have led to one unassailable conclusion. Our Phantom Thief is a descendant of doomed Sil'dih who seeks vengeance against those who reduced his countrymen to slavering zombies. To pacify his soul and send him peacefully to the next world, there is but one course of action. We must find the Sil'dih statesman who conceived this dreadful stratagem and have him apologize to the thief in person for the suffering he has wrought. A brilliant plan. Perhaps you'd like to go find yourself a shovel and dig the statesman out of his grave yourself? Leaving aside this nonsense of spirits and specters, it appears increasingly likely that our quarry shares some link to Sil'dih. His garish garb is no doubt meant to evoke the silver scales of a fallen sultanate. This Sil'dih connection would also serve to explain the rare knowledge of Belladian relics our thief clearly possesses. But what of the murder victims? What common thread among them could have incurred the ire of our adversary? A few people in town spoke of a man sighted calling upon the victims in the past days. Those who saw him said he had a most frightened air about him. Wait, yes, coming to me, of course. My keen investigator senses ring out, with a voice loud and clear. This man Miss Ellie speaks of just might know something. You clearly should stop thinking so hard. You like to strain a brain muscle. Miss Ellie, who is this man and where might you find him? My sources identified the man as Guguria, a traveling merchant known to frequent Horizon. Shall we pay him a visit? Good Horizon. My keen instincts tell me that Master Goria's testimony will be the key to a monumental breakthrough in our investigation. Yes, I shall employ the ancient mandible art of parley to skillfully extract the information we require. Yes, if got business, make it quick. My time's too valuable to waste chatting with every stranger who passes by. Forgive us, good sir. My name is Ellie, a reporter of the Mythical Eye. Never blinking or seeing, you know the rest. I was wondering if you could trouble you with a few questions. Was it for love or money that you killed them? Yes, you, the thief of many faces? Me, a thief? What's this nonsense? I don't know who you are, and I ain't got the time or the patience for this mummery. Now if you excuse me, an important client awaits. I thought I recognized that voice. Lady Ul'dah, well met indeed. Pray tell, whatever brings you to these environs this fair evening? Why, I live here, you ham-headed half-wit. Inspector Brialin, this is an unexpected pleasure. Do you have some business with my associate here, pray tell? Guguria, we can discuss business after. Pray let the inspector here, the handsome one, whatever assistance he requires. But Lady Duella, what about... Ah yes, my dear Maria's name day present. I had in mind one of her prize pieces from Ashtane's latest seasonal collection. You'd be able to procure one for me, yes? Or shall I eliminate the middleman and make the trip to Ul'dah myself? I said just once more, Guria. I expect you to give the Inspector and his companions your full assistance. They, yes, even the stupid one, helped me regain something truly priceless. Yes, something more valuable than any mere trinket. Alright, I'll tell you what I know. But you don't hear it from me, got it? I was looking into the killing on behalf of a client of mine. The thief got himself some of what zombie does, the trader spawn, was it? And this card speak of 5 victims. Got me thinking. Sil'dih? 5 victims? Aye, the Arbiters of Truth. The Arbiters of Truth? I'm not familiar with the name. I fear would be, on account of them being something of a secret society and all. Influential personages of a sultanate, you see, working from the shadows to keep false knowledge about the Ul'dah CD conflict from reaching the eyes of folks like you and me. False knowledge? Pray tell, what sort of knowledge might that be? False spies, don't make me say no more. I've got a family to feed. Well, just tell us one thing. Who hired you and where can we find him? Up. His name is Hop. When you heard what he said, he told me that he was going to set sail for Limsa with his 5 best sellswords to guard his back. Said there were many prying eyes on the airship docks. Said he had a private ship docked and waiting for him at Wester Bay. But remember, you didn't hear none of this from me. This man Hop must be one of the killer's targets. Doubtless he also knows the identity of the remaining one. I doubt that. They say the Arbiters are so secretive, they don't even know each other's true identities. Now, don't ask me how that all works, but Hop's got high-ranking friends in the brass plates. Once we heard those victims had all been zombified, he panicked, because he knew that he'd be next. Thank you very much, my kind sir. Once again, the ancient mandible art of parley has procured for us a key morsel of knowledge. Let us seek out this Hop fellow and see what he can share with us. And let us hurry. The man's life is in danger even as we speak. To the way. Master Hop, is everything kind of alright? No, step back, Ellie. Hunger. Hunger for your brains. Damn, there's no saving the man. Desiree, do what you must. Yes, my first knowledge of zombies tells me this particular shade of green is unmistakably that of the undead. Would seem we are a few moments late to the scene. A message. And then there was one. There it is again. Huh? Something matter, Inspector? Indeed, Nashuvis. Ever since I picked up the trail of the Phantom Thief, I've had this fleeting sense... a sense of someone or something is watching us. The thief might be close at hand. We should be careful. For a moment, let us return and report our findings to Miss Phyllis. Secret society or no, knowing the identities of its members may yet lead us to the final victim. I too had best return to the Mithrai. Let us meet up again after. I see what new clues I can uncover in the meantime. You will do nothing of the sort, Miss Ellie. These streets are far too dangerous for you to walk alone. Inspector, I go with her. If you insist, Nashu, then I'll give my leave. But pray be wary, not just of a thief, but of Miss Ellie. She's quite a temper, as we both know. Miss Ellie, there's something I must tell you when this case is over. Be safe and promise me that you will not attempt anything rash, as you did that time when that fiend took aim at my life. Your life? It costed a soul. Yes, that was quite the ordeal, wasn't it? I'll be careful, I promise. I eagerly await the day when I may hear what it is you would share with me. A secret vow? Consider me to speak as well, good Inspector. Now let's be off. Miss Phyllis awaits our report. Good. Let's return to Ul'dah then. The news of Hobbs' death will not sit well with Miss Phyllis, but a gentleman must do what a gentleman must do. Some shifty-looking fellow was eyeing the walls before, but he took off faster than a fleeing cactus as soon as my gaze met his. Aye, just like a coward and many a guardian on a plane of... Oh, it's you. A fourth victim? Foulest mercy. Were you able to glean aught of connection to the other victims? The arbiters of truth? No, it cannot be. Somebody, help! Miss Ellie, the voice came from the direction of a vault. We must hurry. Miss Ellie, are you hurt? That man, I only thought to ask him a few questions before I knew what was happening. It was upon me, I could only... Bash his brains with a convenient placed bottle of meat. It would seem. Remind me to get on your bad side, Miss Ali. That said, is Nashu not with you? She saw a figure lurking in the shadows and went off in pursuit. If I could stop her. This man wears the armor of a Sultan's scorned squire, yet his face is unfamiliar to me. Something is amiss. A thief of many faces? To think we would find our man like this. Thrice it again that a feat elude our grasp, but no more. By virtue of a gentleman's ingenuous seduction and a lady's pugilistic puissance, I declare this case closed. I return the settle to you, Miss Phyllis. While the gesture was appreciated, in the end it proved superfluous to my cracking of a case. While you're at it, is there anything else of immense value that you'd like to wantonly destroy? What's the meaning of this? Ingenious, a double disguise planned by the thief to throw us off his trail, no doubt. This is Greek, one of my most capable men. I assigned him to guard the vault and outfitted him with an ample supply of demasking dust. It's inconceivable that the thief could so easily elude his grasp. Unless the thief was not wearing a mask. Speaking of which, has anyone seen Miss Ellie? No, that's impossible. Of course, it all makes perfect sense. With a phantom thief to thank for her burgeoning readership and rise through the ranks of the Ul'dah, Miss Ellie could not bear to face the possibility of her story of a lifetime coming to an end. Was she hatched a plan to... My lady, the vault has been breached. The wise man's whisper, it's gone. For her foul crimes against the Sultan, I hereby declare Ellie of the Ul'dah, the thief of many faces, an enemy of the state. Deploy our troops and do not rest until she is in custody. And now the game is truly afoot. Bah, what's the meaning of all this racket and rumpus? And just as we are about to make our triumphant return, isn't that so, Enkidu? Miss Ellie! The shadow you said you saw, I think it's just a dormouse. To think he'd literally stumble face first into the second mask. His good fortune knows no bounds. But not to worry. Yes, I dare say the Phantom Thief has another trick or two up his sleeve. How could we have been so blind? When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. How do we continue from here? Beneath the mask. My ever-loyal associate, we must find Miss Ellie and quickly. Surely, if confronted by her constant companions, she can still be convinced to abandon this fool plan? Oh, Miss Phyllis, I thought you had already departed in the company of your men. But all for the better. Shall we conduct the search together? I fear it only put them at greater risk. You see, the fifth and final member of the Arbiters of Truth, the Phantom Thief's final target, is none other than... Hildibrandt, man. Me. Mind you, it's not a role I sought of my own accord. My name and my passion for history are somewhat well known in the Sultanate. One day I received an anonymous letter stating that the position in the committee had opened, and I had been chosen to fill it. The letter went on to enumerate my duties. To prevent the spread of historical lies, it would sully the name of our illustrious nation. As a high-ranking officer in the Sultan's sworn, I was deemed to be in a particularly unique position to serve as an arbiter. I knew that there were other members of the organization, but was told nothing of their names or identities. To think that my unknown compatriots were the victims all along. I cannot put any more lives in danger. I will sequester myself in a place where my presence can cause no harm, until such time that the killer is apprehended. Your concern for our well-being is most touching, Miss Phyllis, but there's no need for such caution. As a seasoned inspector, I'm more than capable of protecting a lady in distress. And as a gentleman, that is exactly what I shall do. My associates here also stand at your side. Speaking of which, has anyone seen my loyal assistant? Inspector, over here! Ah, there you are, Nashu. You really shouldn't run off on your own like that. I was worried sick about you. I'm sorry, Inspector. Miss Ellie said she saw somebody in the shadows, so I went to take a look. Now, there wasn't anyone there but the dormouse, but it was a really cute dormouse, you see? It just kept squeaking and scurrying away, and I just... pardon me a moment, Nashu. Yes, my inspector sense speaks to me. Someone is watching us, Desiree. Let's build our canvas our surroundings. Where's Miss Ellie? Do you think she went looking for the dormouse too? Apologies, Desiree, but I require a moment alone with my thoughts. I cannot allow my presence to put my men in danger. Water-stained letter. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Be wary and be warned. Trust no one, and your friends all the less. This will obey you well. Use it wisely. You obtain a sachet of demasking dust. In the next instant, you feel an intimidating presence behind you. Ho ho! This is my beloved son's staunch companion, the mighty Desiree. I was in the area on a matter of business, which I curtailed when I felt a suspicious presence from the shadows. Pursuing it led me here. Maybe it was the same for you? Oh, so the pursuit of a thief of many faces has taken quite the unexpected turn. And now we have come upon a series of anonymous letters. Maybe our watcher in the shadows is a friend? Or is it but another trap laid by the fiend? Yet the plot thickens like a dollop of salamander oil. In either event, I dare say the circumstances call for utmost caution. The faith could be anywhere or anyone. Myself excluded, of course. No man mask could replicate the physique of this manable man. That said, I fear my dear Hildy may be in a bit over his head this time. Allow me to assist in your investigation. Were anything to happen to Hildibrandt, his dear mother would not be pleased. Something just isn't right. If the sender speaks true, the villain even now lurks within our midst, and yet, we've but a single sachet of demasking dust at our disposal. We must identify the impostor beyond reasonable doubt before we proceed. You know the players better than I, Desiree. What say you have a few words with each of them and see if aught seems amiss? Am I doomed to share the same fate as the others? I'd sooner die than become one of those things. Too much has happened in too short a span. I need more time to make sense of it all, but time is something we do not have. Miss Ellie is a phantom thief. It's the only logical conclusion, and yet I cannot help but feel that another truth still awaits us. It makes no sense. There must be something we're missing. Inspector Briardin taught me all about it. Who'd have thunk Miss Ellie was a phantom thief all this time? She sure told me. The inspector sure is taking his time. Nothing particularly odd about any of them, you say. It stands to reason. The fiend would not take such a risk if we are not utterly confident that he could pull off a ruse. Curses! This one's not half a fool as Sun is. I must elude him and quickly. Time is of the essence. I question the Sultan's one outside. Two men may insist they have seen naught of Miss Ellie. Wherever could she have gone? Father, what brings you here? Yes, finally the pieces are coming together. Now if you would kindly stand still and shut up. The fiend already stands among us. Inspector Boyardin, I should hope you're not doubting me. While I'm quite convinced that even a master impersonator would struggle to recreate your particular brand of idiocy, the fact remains that anyone here who has spent even a moment alone must be considered a suspect. The thief has proven to be highly efficient at assuming new identities. An astute observation, my gangly friend. I'd say this occasion calls for a dose of 2 of that powder that they here found earlier. There wouldn't happen to be another sachet or 2 lying about, would there? What remains of our supply has already been distributed to the search party, but why not? I should be reporting back within a belt's time. Time might be against me, but just you watch. I'll wiggle my way out of this and turn you into the reeking, drooling corpse you deserve to be. I fear this is more time than we can afford, Miss Phyllis. Fortunately, my powers of deduction will lay the fiend's face bare within minutes. We know that, given the choice, the thief prefers to impersonate familiar personages. As Miss Ellie has only had a passing interaction with my dear father, we can safely eliminate him from consideration. That leaves myself, Nashu, and Desiree here. Nashu and I, in particular, have had a close and extended relationship with our suspect. I shall begin by questioning my own assistant. I assure you that none know her better than I. Brilliant reasoning as ever, Inspector. Go on, ask me anything. All the times for this overstuffed buffoon to start talking sense. If he asks me anything too obscure, my cover is as good as blown. My relationship with Nashu is so close, I dare say at times it is as if we share a mind. If this Nashu is truly my ever-loyal assistant, she should have no trouble completing my thoughts. I'm a mandible? Man! Doing what only a mandible can. Well, peaks of curve is to funnel on. Mandible. Man, you're the best, Inspector. A perfect score. You may rest easy, dear friends. This is unmistakably, unequivocally, indubitably the true Nashu. I've never loved you more than now, you marvelous muttonhead, you. Nashu, is something the matter? Just because you picked up a few more wrinkles beneath your eyes, there's no need to avert that charming face of yours. Winkles! Look who's talking across the curtain! Genius, Inspector? The charade is up, Miss Ellie. Okay, but I would end the episode here and we see what's up with this girl who... not quite Ellie. Yeah, what's up with her? Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.